Steves. Join me as we get better acquainted with the world each week on Travel with Rick Steves. Together, we'll explore fascinating sights, discover amazing food, and make new friends from near and far. Your radio is the only passport you'll need. Join us for Travel with Rick Steves, Saturday afternoons at 1 on KSJE.
.30 Monday morning on KSJE. You're listening to the Scott Micklin Morning Program. We are talking about some alternative licensure programs here at San Juan College, and joining me now via Zoom, Alicia O'Brien is here to discuss with me the Four Corners Noyce program, Noyce. And Alicia O'Brien, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me, Scott.
You bet. Thank you for joining me. And we just spoke with Carrie Deswood about the Alpine 3 program, and so the is it Noyce or Noyce? Am I doing it right?
Yes, it's correct. It's the Noyce program.
The Noyce program. And so this is in a similar line, is my understanding, but explain to us a little bit how this is a bit different than Alpine.
Well, it's much more STEM focused
right.
than Alpine. And so let me give you a little bit of background about the program, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
So the Noyce program was founded in memoriam of Robert Noyce, and he is probably one of the most influential people in the history of computers that most of us don't know about. He was called in the late 60s and 70s the mayor of Silicon Valley. He was a physicist. He invented the first monolithic integrated circuit, which we call the microchip.
Okay.
And so
sure.
a lot of the things that we take for granted, we can thank Robert Noyce for. So in the 1990s, his family created a foundation that was specifically targeted for K-12 STEM education. And so the National Science Foundation has overtaken this mission of the family's foundation through the Robert Noyce Scholarship Program. And so here at San Juan College, we are fortunate. We have our own Four Corners Noyce program that is backed by the National Science Foundation.
Understood. And so with that being said, then, you are looking for folks who want to get some training and to get into the schools and be able to do some teaching in the STEM fields?
That's correct. So we have two different purposes. The first one I'd like to talk about, which we really want to sort of ramp up a recruitment for, is if you have a bachelor's degree in STEM mm-hmm. and you are looking for a career change, you have thought about teaching, you have thought about how much that would serve your community. I think, now sometimes when society is the most turbulent during COVID, sometimes that's the best time to make a life-changing shift in your career or whatever it might be, or your personal life. So if you are an engineer, if you are a biologist, if you are a chemist, and you are out there and you're thinking, and you are in the San Juan County area, and you are thinking, you know what, it might really be something that I could make a difference with in being an educator, this program is for you. And so we have 3 $10,000 scholarships. You would be part of the alternative licensure program under Carrie Deswood, and you would begin working through that program with that scholarship.
Got it. And with that $10,000, it sounds to me like that would cover much of the costs of the program, and maybe give a little left over for some other program-related expenses for these students. Is that true?
That's absolutely correct, yes.
Very good. And so your books and your tuition and all the other things that we talk about for this program would probably be covered and then some by this scholarship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Got it. And so, again, through the alternative licensure program, as we've just learned in the previous segment, that takes maybe a year to complete for most students. Is that an accurate timeline?
Yes, I think, it can vary depending on how many credit hours you're taking. A year to a year and a half is probably
gotcha.
appropriate, yes.
Right. And you mentioned about these folks that maybe are in these industries now and thinking of making a career change. And I would think that there's still, as I mentioned to Carrie Deswood, there's still a demand for these types of teachers, like science teachers and math teachers and others in the school districts these days.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Those are probably the most difficult positions to fill on a yearly basis from the feedback I've gotten from superintendents and that sort of thing. So, yes,
right.
Those are definitely in high demand.
And with this program, Alicia and O'Brien, is there then, do the students have to go to a certain school district once they complete it or agree to teach in a San Juan County school district, or how does that work?
Thank you for asking that. There is a commitment. If you have received the scholarship, there is a commitment of teaching for 2 years in a high-need school district, and every single school district in our area fits that qualification.
Got it. And so again, as you mentioned, for folks who are maybe thinking about making a career change during this crazy time, or maybe they're being forced to make a career change, this could be a good opportunity for some of these folks that we know we have in our community, these highly skilled engineers and scientists and folks like that maybe want to stay in the area, but maybe their job is going to be changing or eliminated over the next few years. This could be a good way for them to be able to keep using those skills in a bit of a different way.
That's absolutely correct, yes. And I guess I didn't fully list all of the STEM majors that are eligible. Right, okay. But computer programming is another one. Of course, physics. Geology. Geology Definitely. Is another important one.
Right. Yes. And so again, and this is a lot of these STEM fields that we hear about all the time, and that's what we're talking about.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. So if you are interested in applying for this or want to just know a little bit more, there's no commitment to this. Right. But you can go to sanjuancollege.edu/NOYCE. Noyce. And there is an electronic application there. It just gives me some information about your background. It doesn't commit you to anything, but it kind of gets the ball rolling so I can contact you.
Very good. And do you have a deadline as to when you'd like to have these applications in to kind of make some of these decisions about these scholarships that you have?
So we definitely have until October 1st. That is when we can initially roll out each academic year's scholarship. So prior to October 1st is ideal, but we're always looking for recruits throughout the academic year.
Got you. And how much scholarship money do you have? How many recruits are you looking for this period?
We have 3 scholarships available currently, yes.
Okay. Very good. And so if folks would like more information or want to ask you some questions, maybe Alicia O'Brien, that I haven't asked you this morning, what's the best way to do that? Can they email you or call you? What would you prefer?
Yes, you can email me, o'briena@sanjuancollege.edu, OBRIENA. And or you can call me at 505-566-3193.
Okay, very good. And again, you mentioned this is part of the alternative licensure program, and so again, folks should be aware that is also part of San Juan College, and you kind of get into that program and get through it. But you have some of these more STEM-focused, I guess, classes then and training for your students.
So most of the preparation, they already have the STEM degree. Right. So most of the preparation is classroom management, but we can also support that with other STEM classes if they're interested. But it's more of a teaching focus in the alternative licensure program. But they would be focusing on how do you teach STEM classes in K-12.
Understood. And so this is the first year of this program here at San Juan College. Is that correct? I mean, I'm familiar with the Project Alpine program and scholarships, but the Noyce scholarships are new, are they not?
This is actually the beginning of our 3rd year.
Oh, is it?
We have already had 2 cycles and 2 scholars that have received the scholarship that I have mentioned today.
Okay.
So yes, and as the years pass, it's a 5-year program. Each year we add more scholarships.
Right. Well, I stand corrected, and I'm glad I do that this has been going on. So that means you have some success stories from folks who've been through the program who are now in the classroom, right?
That's absolutely correct. Brandon Begaye is currently teaching at Shiprock High School. He was actually our Voices. This is a national panel of teachers. He served on that last summer at the annual Noyce Summit in the Voices of the Field panel. And so he explained what he does in the classroom, and he fielded a lot of questions about what it is like to teach where he teaches. And so, yes, absolutely. And then last year, Monica Leopold was our scholarship recipient.
Very good.
And she is now placed in the Farmington School Districts.
Terrific.
School District.
Right. Well, and I know, for all of us in education, it's really a passion, and for folks who maybe weren't part of the field, but they're in these other STEM fields that we've talked about, when they get into education and can give back to these communities by teaching some of these students, it's got to be a really great experience for them to kind of see the little light bulbs go off over people's heads, those students' heads in the classroom as they get these concepts and get these ideas, and it really kind of gets them into the passion of education, don't they?
Absolutely. I think that's so true. And one of the biggest things is watching, from my past 2 years experience, is watching people go back to the communities they grew up in and give back to that community. That is incredibly powerful.
Right.
Yeah.
How terrific. And so this is, again, a great opportunity for someone in the STEM fields who wants to get back into maybe a different career change, but still using some of the knowledge that they've been using over their first career, and to go back and to have this pretty much paid for by this scholarship, the Noyce Scholarship. It's a great opportunity.
It is. It's a terrific opportunity, and I hope that many people in our community will try to benefit from it.
Very good. Well, we hope we'll get you a lot of applications, and you'll be handing out a lot of scholarships. Alicia O'Brien, thank you for joining me this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Scott. Very nice to speak with you.
You bet. It's always great to talk to you. Thanks so much, and appreciate it very much. That is Alicia O'Brien from the Four Corners Noyce program, offered here through San Juan College, my guest here on KSJE. I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. The time is coming up on 8:43. Hi, everyone. I'm Scott Micklin.
And I'm Megan Cullip.
Inviting you to join us for our COVID-19 local information program Monday and Thursdays at 9 a.m. live on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Each episode we get to hear from local medical experts, community leaders, and more.
Join us every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m. live on Facebook and YouTube, and every afternoon at 5:06 on KSJE 90.9 FM and 103.3 FM.
Travel is one of life's great rewards, and there's always something new to see and experience when you travel the world like I do. Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me as we get better acquainted with the world each week on Travel with Rick Steves. Together, we'll explore fascinating sights, discover amazing food, and make new friends from near and far. Your radio is the only passport you'll need. Join us for Travel with Rick Steves, Saturday afternoons at 1 on KSJE.
Hi, I'm Sam Payne, host of The Appleseed, an hour filled with stories for you and your family. And we're not talking about news stories here. We're talking about fairy tales and folk tales and personal stories and family tales and even a little music from time to time. And each story could spark a memory for you that you can share with the people that you love. Hear The Appleseed every Thursday at noon, right here on the information and cultural beacon of